How many start clapping again? Ooh-wah! I want to hear it. Ooh-wah! Can I hear ya? Ooh-wah! Yeah! All right. All right, let's sit down. I want to start this off. Being an entrepreneur is about attitude. And you can have the attitude of being an entrepreneur, or you can have the ooh-wah attitude of being an entrepreneur. And it's important to understand in entrepreneurship that there are peaks and valleys, highs and lows. And I've been fortunate in my life to work in corporate America for many, many years. And here I am today introducing a product to the marketplace at age 52. And it's pretty exciting. A lot has gone into it before introducing this product to the marketplace. But the processes, from my perspective, is where the research, the development, the how we're going to market it is how a product either makes or breaks itself. And that's what I'm going to discuss a little bit today. But before I get involved with my product line, I want to ask some questions and get some interaction from you. Anyone know an entrepreneur themselves who started their own company?
Grand Rapids Iron and Metal.
Yep.
It's a recycling business.
Absolutely. Very familiar with it. Anyone else here? Anyone here a small company called Microsoft? How about a small company called Apple? How about a small company called Amway Corporation here locally? All three companies started in their garages. And if you take some time, I would strongly recommend you, to the computer age, go to Google, Google those companies, and do a little research on those companies. I'll give you a little history real quickly on Apple. Steve Jobs developed a computer in his garage. Had no distribution, had no idea how he was going to sell it, but he had a great idea, a great concept, and he had a work ethic and a plan in his mind how he wanted to do this thing, and the rest of it is history. Same with Microsoft. Amway Corporation, I'm very familiar with. I had the opportunity to work there for 5 years. The owners, Jay Van Andel and Rich DeVos, started that company in a garage on one concept, one product. It was called LOC, soap. And now it's a worldwide company that is a multi-billion-dollar company, and it started in someone's garage. So my point here is no idea is a bad idea. No concept is a bad concept. It's how you execute it. It's how you put energy into it. The other thing I want to also say before I get started on my product line, doctors, lawyers, orthodontists, plumbers, electricians, carpenters, they're all entrepreneurs. Jamie and I Mr. Christian and I had a neighbor that lived down the street, and he's an orthodontist. Started his business in Rockford, and now he employs 11 employees. That's an impact in the economy as an entrepreneur. There are more small businesses in this country that started from an entrepreneurship that generate more income and generate more tax base than all the large companies. And that's the neat thing about entrepreneurship. So now I'm going to get involved, talk a little bit about my product line and how I got started. Real quickly, I took a buyout from corporate America a few years ago. I have a love for cooking, a passion, to be honest with you. I developed some products in years past I used to give away. And I have someone in my house, my wife, who kept on telling me, what about marketing these products? And I have really 5 products that we've developed. I have 4 spice blends, or meat rubs, as we call them, a barbecue sauce, and a spaghetti sauce or a marinara sauce. And for years I gave them away to family, friends, for gifts. And about a year and a half ago, my wife got been asking me, well, why don't you do this for a living? I'm not interested, not interested. And then I started doing some research, looking at, well, what's going to take me to get from doing it as a hobby to getting it into the marketplace. And there was a lot of steps I had no idea that I had to make happen before I even get it to the marketplace. And the major step that I had to go through is with my product line, I thought I could just manufacture it in my house and sell it. Oh no, oh no. I had to be state approved, I had to get FDA approved, I had to be what they call, take classes, and at my age that's a hard thing to do, at Michigan State University. And what I found out is that I looked for resources that were going to help me through this process. And Michigan State University was an incredible resource for me in their ag department. And I had to take classes there on better food management, on better food processing, classes that are way above my abilities, but I still took them and passed them. But to get to that point, those are the things I had to do to ensure that the product that I'm producing was safe, and that was the key element to this, safe, and it's done properly on the standard of both the Agriculture Department in Michigan and the FDA. And there's a lot of things that go into that. And I understand that you guys are in that process right now of doing your research on your product line. Make sure when you do that, that you find out all the little details that have to go into getting that product to market. Okay, that's really important. And what I found out, that if you don't do those things, the state can shut you down, or if you don't have the right license, for instance, if you're an electrician, or if you're a plumber and you don't have the right license and you're running your business, you can real quickly lose the opportunity to make income because of that. So here we are. I'm developing the idea of how am I going to take this product now that we have it. The formula is done. The product is in place. Now the real work came in. One, looking at how I'm going to market the product. Two, I didn't have a logo for the company. Okay. Three, no website, no Facebook page, no what I call marketing materials. These are all things that had to be developed before we even looked at getting it to market. And then the important question is, how are we going to market this product? What avenues are we going to pursue, or what avenues are we going to have to market the product to the end consumer? Because my product at this point in time is sold to the end consumer. Well, the logo that you see, the gentleman that you see up there, that's a picture of my great uncle, Johnny Secreto. My grandmother's maiden name was Secreto, and she was born in Italy. And we, my daughter, myself, and my future son-in-law, and my wife, thought what a great idea to tie in a family concept or family idea to the product line. And by chance, guys, I'm telling you right now, and this is what happens in business, and it's about timing sometimes. I found this picture in a photo album from my mother that was in my house for years I never looked at. And we're looking for a logo, and they wanted to put my ugly mug on the picture on the. And I said, no, we're not putting my picture on the cover of the product line. So we found this picture. It was taken in 1944 in Parkersburg, West Virginia, and it just hit it. It was like, bam, that's it. That's the logo. And these are some things that you, again, going into your product line, that you're going to need to look at. A logo is always important. Image, if you will. Okay? Apple has the apple. Yeah, pass those around. Thanks. So we got the logo. Then I had to find a designer to to design my logo. We got a designer, designed the logo. So here we are, I get all my license, I'm ready to, I can manufacture the product, we're getting logo put together, we're getting the website put together. Now, I will tell you this right now, and you guys know this better than any generation, any, that if you are not in what we call today in the marketing world, in guerrilla marketing, okay? You guys ever hear that term, guerrilla marketing? You know what that is? Okay, guerrilla marketing is you're out there in every avenue of electronic media. Webpage, Facebook, tweeting. I have no idea how to tweet. My future son-in-law, my daughter, we tweet. We're out there. And we needed to be out there because, as Mr. Christensen and I talked yesterday, my product is not a unique product. There's a ton of pasta sauce out there. There's a ton of barbecue sauce out there. There's a ton of spice blends out there, okay? But what's unique about it, in my opinion, quality, critically important. 2, the packaging, when you take a look at it, in my opinion, very well done. Spent some time and energy and money on that. I did not want to look like a company, a startup company that's being run out of my home. And I run my company out of my home, in my office. I wanted to look like the companies that, like, to give you an example, you know, you've got Prego out there, you have barbecue sauce, Famous Dave's, you have a lot of different types of meat rubs that if you're familiar with that market, there's a lot out there. But I wanted to look, feel, and, you know, act like I'm not running my company out of my home. And that's what we created. So here we are, we got all of our license, we got our product line, we got our we know how we're going to manufacture. The biggest question now is, how am I, and we're doing guerrilla marketing, but still nobody knows who I am. Nobody. How am I going to get to the end consumer? And I started researching, and I found out that the way that I'm going to market my product on the get-go is to market through farmers markets throughout the state of Michigan. Gives me an opportunity to introduce my product to an end consumer in a given marketplace without opening a retail store, because I could not afford to do that. And retailers at this point in time don't even know who Johnny's Secreto foods are. And they're not going to take my product line on if they don't know who I am. So what I've done is we've created the opportunity to go into a marketplace, and Mr. Christian just brought up, these are different farmers markets we do on a weekly basis. On average, we average anywhere between 12 and 14 farmers markets a week. A lot of work. I was in East Lansing yesterday on a Sunday. Thank God for college students who have a lot of money. They were out in droves yesterday buying my product. It was good. But the concept or the idea was to develop in each market area a repeat customer base, but also hopefully find some retailers in those market areas. Then after we leave the market, we're going to be able to tell those customers you can go to XYZ to pick up my product line. And we're there. Now, take a step back. We did not introduce this product line until May 1st of this year. We're a very, very new company. I mean, really new. And in that period of time, we have the guerrilla marketing going on. We have the 14 farmers markets every week going on. So we are taking the shotgun approach, if you will, of getting the product line out there. Now, there are more traditional ways of doing it. Traditional way is to find a food distributor that will look, and at 11 o'clock, I meet with one today, that will take the product line on, and they go out and they try to sell the retailer on my product line. That was one way to do it. The other way to do it is to go out, knock on doors. Hi, I'm John Coram. This is Johnny Secreto Foods. Would you like to take my product line on? I just didn't feel in my market research that that was going to be a productive way of doing it. One, I needed income coming in. Really important. Most small entrepreneurship startup companies, the number one reason why they fail isn't because it was a bad idea. Isn't because of hard work, time, energy, effort. It's because they're undercapitalized. Very, very important to understand that. Undercapitalization is the number one reason why most small businesses fail. Now, I don't have any answers for you or about capitalization. There are ways to be capitalized. You take loans out, you finance it yourself. There's, go to Shark Tank, have them give you money. These are all ways that you get capitalized. However, we knew that we needed income coming in, and that's why when we made the decision to go to farmers markets, we knew it was going to be a heavy burden every week, but we have income coming in right away. And through that, we knew that if the product line is quality, if the product line looks, feels like the big boys, we knew in our heart that retailers are going to take it on. And we just presented our product line to Myers, if you know who Myers is. Another great story if you ever want to read the book. It's an outstanding book about how he developed his company. We just introduced, they're looking at the product line right now. If they're taking it on, I don't know. But our ultimate goal right now is to take this product to retailers and have retail stores sell my product line. And also with that, we're looking at distribution networks to also distribute this product line out of state. So those are the big picture right now for us, but from a small picture standpoint, I'm still doing farmers markets every week. Tomorrow we'll do one. Wednesday we'll do two. And we'll do 14 this coming week. And then after that, after the farmers markets is done, we're looking at doing high-end craft shows. Anywhere we can get the product line out to the end consumer. Because I know Mr. Christian's had the opportunity to taste my product line, that it's quality. It's different. I can tell you this right now, my barbecue sauce isn't Sweet Baby Ray's. It isn't anything that's really out in the marketplace. It is a little bit different. My pasta sauce is very different. So we feel that we have a product line that's going to compete with the big boys in a positive way. But some other things that we had to also look at is price point. These are things that you all have to look at. What is the market going to bear in regard to your product, and will you be able to sell it for that? Now, a couple things that we had to do is we had to look at, okay, here's our manufacturing costs, here's our retail cost, but in between we also have to have a wholesale cost. Because wholesalers are not going to, I can't sell to them at the retail cost. They need to make money. So every step of the way we had to look at it and say, okay, if I'm manufacturing it, let me give you an example. This right here cost me $2.15 to manufacture. Okay? That is the label, the jar, the lid, the black wrap on top, and the product that goes inside this bottle. Okay? It's $2.15. That's another thing you're going to need to look at is what is it going to cost you to manufacture a product? And then take it from there and look at, all right, are we going to wholesale it or are we going to retail it? If you're going to retail it, I sell this at farmers markets for $5. Okay? Pretty good. Pretty good. However, I got expenses. Can't forget about expenses. Gas. Heavy expense. You guys buying gas these days? You know, it's $4 a gallon. This past week alone, I spent $250 in gas. Okay? So, yeah, $2.15. It's all for $5. God, I'm making good money. Yeah, wait a minute. I got expenses in between here. And the great thing about business, and a startup business, that we have started here, is that guess what? I don't get paid. I don't get paid until everybody else gets paid. And that's, understand that in business, when you start your own business and you're an entrepreneur, you are the bottle washer, you sweep the floors, you make the product, you label the product, you sell the product. And to go back to Apple, Microsoft, Amway, you get an opportunity to read one of their stories. But I'll tell you what, Steve Jobs, he did that all day long, knocking on doors. Everybody looked at him and he had lobsters in his ears. Okay? Because there was one company out there that was selling the product. It was called IBM. And Apple had no place in the marketplace. You're going to compete with IBM? Well, look at them today. Okay? So, getting back to my costs and all that, here we are at $2.15, retailing it for $5, but I have costs that I have to take care of every week. Or expenses, excuse me. Gas, cost of manufacturing. I have cost of farmers markets. I do have employee costs. Not me, other people. So these are all the costs that I have to look at to make sure that at the end of the day, that $5 compared to $2.15, in between there, I'm making some money. And that's critically important. That's another area, in my opinion, where small businesses fail. They either undervalue their product line. They'll sell it for less than what they think it's worth. And then, oh, we're making money. Well, guess what? At the end of the day, when you look at it, you're not making money because you have expenses. Okay? And that's a very, very important factor here when you're looking at your product line. Give you an example, the pasta sauce. 24 ounces. My cost on the pasta sauce is $2.75. I retail it for $5 or for $7. Good profit margin on it. However, less volume than my barbecue sauce. I sell a lot of this. Okay, higher volume, making a little less profit than the pasta sauce. Okay, but with the pasta sauce, I can sell less and make more volume, or make more money with it, and that's why we price it at that point. The other thing with your product line, when you start taking a look at it, where does it fit in the marketplace? Is it, and I don't mean to be mean to say this, but is it a Walmart product? A more of a lower end, not negative, just lower end, or is it Williams-Sonoma? You guys know who Williams-Sonoma is? What would be another one?
Macy's?
Huh? Macy's. Okay, there we go. Okay.
Abercrombie,
versus
yes, Target?
Yes.
Or Old
versus
Navy?
Target. Yes, thank you. We position the product to be more on the high-end lines. And we want to be in those types of stores. For instance, today, after my opportunity to speak with all of you today, I'm going over to Forest Hills Foods in Ada, and they're looking to take the product line in. That's the retailers, the type of retailer that we want to be in. Because the clientele that walks in there had no challenge of looking at the pasta sauce and saying, geez, it's $7, I want to buy it, versus ragu at $1.99. Okay? And I'll be honest with you, yesterday it was a great day at East Lansing. Can't tell you how many college students walked up because they've tasted the product before. And I had one gentleman who bought 6 yesterday. And what he's gonna do, he's gonna put them on the shelf, and he's got 6 weeks of dinner, or, 6 days of dinners for that. And if you take a look at that, not a bad way to go. Good for me too, so.
And it is good.
It is good. It is.
It's far
My wife
superior
wanted
to
me to bring
regular.
samples today, but I'd go broke giving you guys samples today, so I can't do that, so.
It is my favorite. It is good.
Real quick on it, I developed these products myself. And like I said, it's nothing new. I mean, there's product like this out there. So, any questions?
All right, so this is where we turn it over to you all. I'm thinking about where you're at. You've got your products. You've heard about how this came to market, the different options. Where are you at? What, Mrs. Harlow, you can chime in too if there's something.
Yes,
Are you only at farmers markets or are you like at stores?
we are at some stores right now, yes. Not locally here, but we're in stores in Chelsea, Michigan. We're in stores in Big Rapids, and a store in Big Rapids, a store in Battle Creek right now. But ultimately, the time frame I've set for this is a year from now. We'll still be doing some farmers markets, but we want to tail the farmers markets off and really be in retail. That's the ultimate goal of the product line, and it gives me some more time to develop. That's the other thing that I want to try to do here, is develop some other product lines. So that's our next step after we get into retail, to have, got some ideas on a couple of other products that I want to look at introducing, so. Yeah, we are in some retailers right now. Yes?
How long do you think it will take for your company to go like bigger?
Thank you. If I had a crystal ball, it'd be great, and that's a tough thing about business. Marketing plans, and I don't know if you guys, are they doing marketing plans or not?
Well, they're,
Kind of.
yeah, they're gonna
Okay.
look at how they're find out there.
Excellent. One of the things that you need to do when you put a marketing plan together is make sure you understand that it changes often. So to answer your question, 2 years is the time frame that I have set, that I'd like to be out there in a big way. If it happens, I think that it would be, I think 2 years is a good time frame to kick back and say, okay, let's reevaluate. Because I want to just piggyback on that question. Since May, we have reevaluated the packaging, the product line numerous times. I mean, we went from tins that, bring up another, if there was a, one.
Samples?
Yeah, the sample. I'll show you real
Oh,
quick.
yeah, the sardine can.
Yeah, the sardine can, thank you. There you go. That was the original tin that we went with. And it was 5 ounces. And we started selling it, we were doing pretty well. But we found out that it was too much. And I want repeat customers. So we decided to change real quickly from 5 ounces to 2.5 ounces that you see that's right here, right now. And again, getting back to the marketing plan, we're originally going to have 5 ounces, and we're going to have 2.5 ounces. And then I said, you know something? I want more repeat business. So to get more repeat business, we'll only offer 2.5 ounce, decrease my cost, because now I'm not manufacturing 2 volumes of rubs, and only have 1 volume. And it's worked out pretty well. But to answer your question, about 2 years is when I set my marketing plan up, that's what we were looking at. Yes?
Are there any other products you're thinking about putting on the market?
Absolutely. 2 products, I can tell you right now. Looking at now, the challenge with anything that's tomato-based like this, I got to go through so much testing. But one product line that I'm looking at right now is a Bloody Mary mix, okay? And another product is a hot sauce. So yes, to answer your question, absolutely. Thank you. Yes?
What's like an estimate of how much you made on the
On the product, the total product, or? My average gross sales right now per week, and share that with you, is anywhere between $2,000 and $3,000 a week gross sales through farmers markets. And the nice thing about that, and that's the other thing I was going to bring this down real quick. It's cash. Oops, I'm sorry. It's cash money. And the nice thing about that is it gives me the ability, it's cash every week. I do, the other thing, thank God for technology. You guys ever hear a thing called Square? Yeah. I'm telling you what, for a 52-year-old man, it's the slickest thing I've ever done in my business. If it wasn't for my daughter who's 25 and my son-in-law who's 25 to educate me a little bit, a third of my business right now I would have lost this year if I didn't have Square. A third. Again, utilizing technology, guys, I'm telling you, it's an incredible avenue. So.
I might have missed this, but do you sell it off your website?
Oh, yes, yes, we do, absolutely.
Farmer markets, and then the
Website,
as well.
yep,
Okay.
absolutely. Absolutely. Update our Facebook page constantly. Another great avenue that we have seen. Tweeting has been, I don't understand it, so I just, sorry.
Yeah, you don't tweet as often as you should.
No, I'm not a tweeter. It's just I gotta tweet more. Any other questions? Yes.
What other ways do you plan to like get your name out there?
This week alone, give you an example, I have a meeting today at 11 o'clock. Then I'm going to Detroit tomorrow. 11 o'clock meeting is with a company that will look at bringing the product line on, my product line on, and distribute it to retailers. And then I also have a meeting tomorrow to do the same in the Detroit market. So ultimately, we want to have 4 or 5 distributors distributing the product to end consumers, to retailers throughout the state of Michigan right now. Saying that much, there are some large chains like Myers. Now in this market we don't have them, but Kroger's is huge on the east part of Michigan and in central Michigan. And you guys are familiar with Spartan stores. Those 3 large chains have taken an initiative that hopefully will bring my product line on someday. Made in Michigan. Made in Michigan is becoming a huge marketing ploy, if you will. Products that are made in Michigan, that employ Michigan people, are making a huge push. And the reason for it is that 1, we're keeping money in the state of Michigan. 2, we're employing folks in the state of Michigan. And above and beyond that, I have a very strong sense of being in the state of Michigan from the standpoint. My designer is from Michigan. My labels are manufactured here in Michigan. All of my T-shirts, my manufacturing, everything is done here in Michigan, and there's a reason for that. And I could have gone online. I'll be honest with everybody. I could have got my label done. I could have found somebody. I could have got my banners done online, some company out of China. Nothing against China. But I felt very strongly about this, about keeping everything, not just local, but in the state of Michigan, so. Yes?
If you're gonna make, say Meyer wants to put your product out, how are you gonna meet, their demand?
Thank you. And it's a scary, that's something, that's a great question. Excellent question. Too much business sometimes is bad, too. It really is. Because again, it goes back to undercapitalization. Meyer calls me up today and says, I want 50 cases of this. I may have to say no. I may have to say no. Because it doesn't make sense for my business at this time. I know that sounds weird. Really sounds weird. But then I would have to maybe go get a loan out that I don't want to do to manufacture the product. And that increases my cost because then I have what's called interest on the loan, okay? So, outstanding question. I would rather, at this particular point in time, in the business plan, to sell to smaller retailers that are taking on 4 or 5 cases than have Meyer call me up and say, I want 50 cases right now. Because I'm not sure if I can do it. And I'm telling you guys, another word of advice, one of the worst things you can do in business is overcommit and underdeliver. Worst thing you can do. Because you can never gain that business back. But Meyer called me today and said, I want 50. And I delivered 20. And I said, you know, it'll be another few more weeks. I'm probably done with Meyer. And I don't want to be done with Meyer. Maybe a year from now? Maybe. Great question.
Can't see all the way over there. Are we,
Anyone else?
okay?
Cool.
Probably what we need to do then with our remaining 15 minutes while we have John here is allow you to get with your groups, get with your teams, and start evaluating how you thought about your product, how you thought about your marketing, how you want to go about doing everything, dividing up your research and see if in your teams there's something you want to steer toward John, or if he walks around and you can try to pitch him a little bit and say, hey, what do you think of this idea? And just use him as a sounding board. I'm sure he'd like to hear more from you about that. And of course you can fantasize about all these great spice blends and marinara sauces. They are definitely a treat, and they are available at johnnysecreto.com. So before you break up, thanks to John for coming in today and sharing his story with you. Give you a little bit of perspective and some food for thought. Go ahead and get with your teams, and we'll knock this out.